This is an exclusive interview right now. Stetsasonic own Daddy-O, live on the radio right now. This is an honor for him to call in for me, man. This is, it's just great, man. I didn't know people paid attention to the show like that, and I'm really honored right now to have him on the line. And we're going to get him on the line. You know what I mean? That's his manager right now. And it's real.
I was hoping I was him.
It's real right now. This is exclusive.
All right, go.
Here we go.
What up?
Daddy-O.
What up?
What up, what up, what up? How you tonight?
I'm good.
Yo, man,
I'm cooling off from 90-degree weather, but I'm good.
Oh, where you at? It's 90 degrees.
At 90 degrees for 2 weeks, bro. I'm in Houston.
Oh, I need to be in Houston. Boy, it's raining and cold out here.
All week.
Oh, yeah, I don't really want the rain and the cold right now.
I feel you, man. Thank you for calling in tonight. It's a blessing, man.
Oh, no problem, man. No problem.
Hey, listen, so what you got going on out here? What you been up to since the movement of the Stetsasonic?
Oh, man, it's been a lot since then, but, you know, new label, new situation, Old Dad Truth, me and my man Lion. We've been putting out these records since, I guess I'd say 2015, but we got a crazy one coming this month, May 29th. I'm doing the fourth album. It's called No Tablecloths. It's crazy.
Oh, No Tablecloths?
Yeah.
How we get that, on Spotify?
It's crazy. So, it'll be on Spotify. It'll be on all the outlets. But you know, I'll get you guys a copy before we drop, so you guys could kind of see where we come in. We did the first 3 videos. Probably gonna shoot a couple more in a few weeks, but did the first 3 videos. The first single is called "Shooting Like a Beatbox," and it's sad to say, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm not even happy that it's so timely. But it's based on, you know, and I didn't even write this record after. Like, I wrote this record pretty much before all of these big mass shootings. But that's what the record's about. The record's about, you know, they out here shooting like a beatbox.
Oh, yeah.
You know, it's crazy.
You talking
It's
about...
crazy. And, you know, I'm in Houston, and that's like right down the road, the joint that happened today. That's like right down the way.
I heard about that.
Oh, yeah, we heard about that.
Yeah, so you know, I mean, I don't know, it's an eerie kind of feeling, right? Like back in the day, you might have even been kind of happy that your record is in time for what's happening in current events, but this is so sad. But it's, you know, it's something that we've been talking about a lot at the label, and just trying to figure out how to start the discussion. So what we really want to do is start the discussion between the elders and the youth about violence. And just let them talk. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to moderate it, and just let them talk and see what they got. Because one of the things that we feel, and that's kind of where this album is headed, is we feel like the voice of the elders and the community is missing.
Mm-hmm. You're right.
So when you leave young people to their own devices, I'm not saying they're not dope, because they could be dope as anything. They could be the most creative, smart, all of that. But, you know, societally, if that's a word, you know what I'm saying, you don't really have any societies of the past that flourished without the influence of their elders. Mm-hmm. And so this is a new thing worldwide, where young people are actually trying to throw away tradition, throw away ancestry, and do it based on modern whatever. And in my opinion, that just really doesn't work.
Right. I hear you, man.
So, you know, so we talking about that. I got one of the other singles is called Haiti. Actually, and we did that before, you know, people started talking about Haiti. But you know what I'm saying, I happen to be married to my wife, who's Haitian, and we had a conversation about Haiti being the first independent black nation, and I did this song, and it just came out crazy. The song is bananas. The song just came out crazy, and so we did that. So we did a video to that. And then we also got a video to, which is so it's like 3 singles we thinking about in the beginning. This record called Bullets, which is about police brutality, but a little kind of twist on it. Not, but it's still about police brutality, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, we just talking about the issues, man. You know, a lot of it, it's not it's not technically a message record. It's a lot of fun. I got Money Making Neek on the album. I got AZ on the album. You know what I'm saying? So it's it's not morbid, but in the same token, you know, I touch what I need to touch.
I hear you. So how do we? Is that any of that out that we can go see it? It's not out yet, or is it?
No, May 29th is everything. Like we gonna be doing everything. Like I said, I'll get you a preview. We actually got pretty much everything done. We actually working on some single artwork now, but other than that, we good. Like, you know, the album's done, it's mastered. Working on a couple of remixes now. But yeah, it'll be soon. It's gonna be real soon. Like we're gonna start blasting off that real soon, man.
All right. Hey, I had a couple questions for you. I was reading up on you, and you was talking about how you felt about Rakim.
Well, I mean, it's not how I feel about Ra. I love Ra. I love Rakim. I said Rakim told the biggest lie in hip hop, that it ain't where you from, it's where you at.
Right.
That's not a hip hop truth, right? That's a truth that came from someplace else. I don't know. You have to ask him why he said it.
Right.
He probably said it maybe because he was from Long Island and he wasn't from one of the boroughs or whatever. But every piece of hip hop that's worth its salt represents where they from. Like where I am right now, N.O. Joe, Scarface, Fifth Ward Boyz,
right.
Thugger, Young Thug, you know what I'm saying? I mean, you know, Slim Thug, not Young Thug.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But they're gonna all represent Houston. They're not gonna go and say, hey, it don't really matter where I'm from. Right. Maybe Macklemore might do that because he's from Seattle and nobody, you know what I'm saying? But even Mix-a-Lot didn't do that, and he's from Seattle.
Say that.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like everybody always represent where they're from. That's part of hip hop.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's part of hip hop. It's been part of hip hop from the very beginning.
Exactly.
From Mel and Scorp and Mo D and then when Running Them came, that was a little.
This is Hip Hop 101 history he's giving us right now on I Got Next TV.
You know what I'm saying?
Go ahead, man. I'm listening.
Yeah. So everybody always represented where they was from. So for me to hear, you know what I'm saying? I gotta say, I just was thinking about it one day. You know what I'm saying? Now we got Spotify and all these other outlets where we can listen to pretty much anything, everything that we want to hear at any given time, right? It's the best. Like, this is the best time because it's all music on demand. We ain't got to wait for no pause tapes or nothing. Right? So we just dial it up. Right. So I'm listening to the record, and I heard him say it ain't where you from, it's where you at. I said, man, that's a lie. Like, that's just a straight lie. Like, yo, Luke, my man, he represent that. You know what I'm saying? All of the cats that I know in hip-hop, from the record side and guys who came around even before the record side, they always rep their hood, man. I mean, that's. I mean, it's a beauty in repping Brooklyn, man. It's a beautiful thing,
right?
And so, and a person who from, you know, say Boston, like Ed O.G. is gonna represent that. A person who from like Philly,
right,
like Meek or Beanie, right, they gonna represent that. Like, you know what I'm saying? No, ain't nobody gonna hold that back and say, it ain't where you from, it's where you at. So, you know what I'm saying? It's just, you know, man, it's in the middle of me having a conversation with Sway, and I don't hold my tongue for nothing, so I just said it. And I stand by it. It's true.
Yeah.
I actually, on the record, I had to do a record on an album called Blasphemy that's dedicated to Rakim fans because I got a lot of swell, you know what I'm saying? I got a lot of great response from that. But then I got a lot of heat back because it was from a Sway interview that I did.
Yeah,
I said a lot in that Sway interview.
Yeah.
How to do Self-Destruction 2, other things that I wanted to do with the old school in terms of A&R and records for my peers. Yeah. But the one thing that got pulled out of the article, because social media operates on sound bites, was the line about Rakim, which I didn't back down. But then, you know, with some of the groundswell, you know, me, you know what I'm saying? So I got a record called Blasphemy on the album that ends saying, I said one line, and if that made them shake, either they God ain't real or they faith is fake.
Ooh, that's crazy. That's chills right there.
That sounds like a shot.
Yeah, that's crazy. Whoa.
I mean, I'm shooting though. I mean, like, but I've been lying to you. I've been shooting since 2015. Like, when me and Lion decided to do this label, man, you know, the reason we partners is because I needed to be partners with somebody that wasn't gonna say, you know, Deke, chill out, you know, slow down, you know, calm down. You know what I'm saying? He just as gritty as me. You know what I mean? So it's like, I'm like, look, I'm not gonna go after nothing I don't believe in, and in the same token, like, everything that's hip-hop, let's keep it hip-hop. I mean, we could go there, but I don't go there. You know what I'm saying? It's too deep to go there with me on the street. I'm too old for that. It's too many people. You know, you talking about dealing with almost 1 million people backing me up on that level. So that's stupid.
Right.
But on a hip-hop level, I'm going to keep it hip-hop. And my thing is, look, we grew up around battling and competition. Mm-hmm. And then in the last, like, say, 9 years, right? Say maybe a little less, say last 6 years, I became this like avid fan of battle rap, right? It started early when Rex and them was at, you know, in the rooms and you know, when Lux and them was young, but then, you know what I'm saying, then the battles got like real hype, and then, you know, the big Lux battle with you know, and all of that, and I loved them because they kind of gave me my, I'm not saying I couldn't rhyme or I always been rhyming, but they kind of gave me my machismo back. Like, they don't make great records, right, but they showed me where to put words at my age, because I'm never going to be a young person. And I'm, you know what I'm saying? I was thinking about it today. I said, man, this kind of crazy. Like, Jay-Z made this record, Death for Auto-Tune, years ago. And like almost every rapper now is auto-tune. I'm like, man, what happened? Jay lost his grip. Like, I just can't. Sometimes I can't. I'm listening to, and it's not that I think it's whack. Right. I just think it's misplaced. It's no different than me. I'll give you a stupid analogy, but it's the truth. I don't think movies like Spider-Man and Black Panther should be put next to movies like The Godfather or something like that. I think they need their own category. Say that. You right. Because I can't do that. You know what I'm saying? I'm measuring Superman versus De Niro. Get out of my face with that. So it's the same way that I feel about what I listen to today. It's not so much that I don't call it hip hop, because I can't take that step. They came from us. And if they bad sons, then they just bad sons. But they came from us. But sometimes it's very difficult to place what I'm listening to, right, because it doesn't fall in any other category except Young Rebellion, which is kind of okay, but it still ain't the Beatles. The right. Beatles was Young Rebellion, but those are great songs. So it's hard to play. So, the best thing for me to do, and I feel like my peers should be doing it too, which is part of my whole mission and the whole mission of True School Entertainment and all of that, is I think that we should just talk about it. We rap well. Let's just talk about it. As long as we don't sound like To the Beat, y'all, you don't stop, then I think we should do it. If we sound whack, you know what I'm saying? And I got a principle. I got a nephew principle. I always talk about this. Everybody got a nephew that's dope. You just got to find which one it is.
Right, say that.
But everybody got a dope nephew, and he will tell you, yo, Unc, that's whack. Then you write it again, you come back, what about this one, nephew? That's all right, Unc, but, then the next time you come back, you might, oh, no, that's fire.
Yeah, right.
Now I see where you're coming from.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's what I'm talking about. It still stays in the same principle of what I'm talking about. I really feel like there needs to be this mesh, this joining of the youth and the elders. I don't know about the people in the middle. I can't even really talk about them. I don't know about them. They weirdos to me. Uh-huh. But the youth and the elders, if they have these conversations, it's a guy, right? I think his name it's the dude. I'm going to try to do something with this dude. It's a young boy. He like 19, maybe 18. He on YouTube. I think his name is King Guap, right? And what he does is he listens to these 90s stuff that he never heard before. Like a young dude, and he it's so funny. He was listening to Rakim. He was like, yo. He stopped Rakim and he said, yo, I don't know what was happening around this time, but this dude got his own style. And then he ends the video going like, but who is Eric B? It's so funny. You know what I'm saying? But it's a young boy who never heard it before. And what he does, he takes requests. People say, hey, man, you need to listen to Mystical, or you need to listen to Jada, or whatever. And he'll take the request and listen to it. If there's a video, he'll watch the video. But if it's just audio, he'll listen to the audio. But that, to me, is the closest to what me and Lion been talking about for years. Because I don't think it's the disconnect that people think. But I do think that my generation, and hey, I don't hold my tongue. I think my generation is a bit bitter, bro. And I think that it's very difficult. If you're a bitter guy, you're not gonna talk to the youth.
Yo, do you think that the generation is bitter because of how easier it is now and how hard they had to work?
Man, they got so many reasons. You would have to ask them. You know what I'm saying? I mean, they got so many reasons. I heard one guy. I ain't gonna mention his name, but I heard one guy say every time somebody say yes, y'all, I should get paid. I'm like, that's how far they take it. You know what I mean? I understand though. Like, I get it. I just don't agree. And I don't know if that even makes sense. It makes sense to me.
It
like,
makes
I
sense.
understand. You know, they started it. They bust their behind, however busting their behind was, to get to where they were. They took, shitty record deals. They did a bunch of stuff. And so maybe that is kind of where you was going with it, with the question you asked me in terms of the ease. They did all of these things, and then I think that they feel that the young people are unappreciative, and they may not be wrong, because there's not many young people that say, "I give prop." Go ahead, I'm listening.
I was about to say that too, because the younger people out now in the game, they talk disrespectfully a lot too. It's people out here talking about they better than Tupac. They better than Biggie.
That's what T.I. was trying to say.
It's people being disrespectful too at the same time. So I kind of get it. I get it as well.
Yeah, I mean, and they going at, they going at some of the most. These guys, I don't know why they both died around the same time, but if you listen to Big and Big, there was a perfection around what they were doing, right? Which is why it's never really been duplicated, right? And so that's like, it's blasphemy even if somebody say somebody else, but saying you better than Big or Pop,
right?
In our day, that might get you a slash or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, where are you getting that from? Like, these guys, listen, these are dudes who we liked.
Right.
It's different, right? It's different. If their generation loving them, their generation was supposed to love them.
Right.
But when you got Daddy-O and Melly Mel and Kango liking you, that's a whole nother thing.
Yeah, and that's why I'm proud to have
you know what I'm saying?
Watching and enjoying my show and be talking to you right now. That's a whole nother thing to me. That's hip hop history, bro. Like we got icons on the phone. We got a hip hop icon on the phone right now, bro. And I'm so honored to have you right now on the phone with me, man, on this show, bro. You don't understand. I'm so honored, man, to have you right now talking to us.
Anytime, bro. Anytime. But you know what I'm saying? So I think what happens with these young people, and this is just my take on it, right? Mm-hmm. Everything is so busy. This is kind of reflective of life right now too, right? I remember listening to somebody talk. I don't know, it was a speaker I was listening to maybe a few weeks ago, and he was talking to an audience, and he asked the audience how many people when they wake up, the first thing they do is check their Facebook feed or something like that. But you know what I'm saying? It's so busy, bro. It's so busy. It's like so much information coming at people all the time. So you can imagine what it's like to be a young person who grew up in Generation X or Z or whatever they calling it, right? Where they never seen a time where there was no cell phone. They don't even know what flip phones are, some of them. Like by the time they seen a phone, it was past the BlackBerry stage. By the time they seen a phone, it actually had a screen, and it was, people were touching on it. Right. So that's a different mindset, because they almost don't. It's like me growing up in the city. I grew up in Brooklyn, and like I tell people all the time, like, yes, I had a good education through my parents, so I probably wouldn't have said the supermarket, but I said somebody from my neighborhood, if you ask them where bananas come from, they say the supermarket. Because we never saw a banana tree. We never saw any of those things. So, it's kind of the same kind of correlation. Like, they don't really have a connection to the roots. The sad part that for me is you can do more historical digging now than you ever could in your life.
Right. It's easy to
I mean, dude, right now, even sitting on my phone, I got music galore. And that's got nothing to do with what I could stream. But, I mean, I just got stuff. Like, I could be talking to you and say, oh, what about this? And play right off my phone. Oh, what about this? And then I'll have something new on my phone. You know what I'm saying? Because, the Royce the 5'9" record is sitting on there. Like, all of that is sitting on there, too.
Yeah.
So you got that ability to dig, and that's my only beef with them. It ain't how they rap. It ain't the records they make. It ain't none of that. My only beef with them is why you ain't digging when, for me to dig, oh, my God. You know how hard it was at a certain time in the 90s to get a flash tape or a fantastic tape? I'm probably one of the few people that got Macedon Committee on tape or some of that. It's not tape no more. I got it digitized. But I'm just saying, like, some of that stuff is gone. If you don't talk to Troy or Tape Master, you can't get it. Or Jazzy J, like, if you ain't got no friends that got that stuff, you can't even touch that stuff.
Right.
So I'm just like, yo, you might not want to dig that far, because that might not even sound good to your ears if you're a young person, you 17, 18. But you could at least go a little further back, like do Biggie, then go a little further than Biggie. Like, at least go back to the message. At least start there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because then you could kind of feel you know what I'm saying? You could feel us. You know what I'm saying? You could feel it. You could feel the evolution, and then you could really see where you fit. To me, that would make them better rhymers. Because, come on, man. There's no way you can't be a better rhymer after listening to Kane. After listening to Kane, either you stop or you get better. That's it.
Hey, yo, I noticed back in the day?
Two things.
You know what I noticed back in the day?
What?
Like Big Daddy King, Kumo D, and mad other people, like, they had real hot bars, and they were exclusive, like they were murder bars, but they never cursed.
Right. Yeah, of course. I mean, that's because of how we all came up. Like, I say it on my album. Like, there's some interludes on my album, and even the first interlude, I talk about how we had no idea about a multi-billion-dollar business. We didn't really know what we were doing.
Right.
So all we knew is we wanted to hedge. How people use that terminology, hedge your bets. We wanted to hedge our bets. So it wasn't like in the street when we were rapping on the mic in parks with equipment and our DJs, we didn't curse. But when it came down to the fact that we might be possibly heard commercially, we were like, yo, let's not do it just because. Like, we don't want to give them any reason to say no. And so that's the way we put it all together. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, Cat's really on some, like, and I feel like there's a few guys that's already, I mean, Thought is going to be that for life, right? Thought was that in high school. Thought's going to be that for life. But I think that more of us could kind of pick up that mantle of just saying, hey, man, I'm just going to go for it. I'm going to be a rhyme animal in my category. Like, I can't do what Black Thought do, but I'm a beast at 57. Like, I'm ridiculous right now.
See that.
I'm way more ridiculous than I was on Stet Records. I can't even front and tell you. I love my Stet Records. I love them to death. I listen to them like they just came out yesterday. But that Daddy-O cannot touch this Daddy-O. No way, no how. I got way more to talk about. I just wrote this. I was just writing this song right now. I'm just getting that last verse of this song. Bananas, like, because I got more to pull from. And that's all I keep trying to say to my peers. Like, you know what I'm saying? Man, cats would love to hear a new Rakim record. Cats would love to hear Mel again, hear Kane. And it don't have to sound like To the Beat, y'all. And it don't have to sound like old 90s records. Like, it could be up to date. Just find the nephew. Just find your nephew.
I get it. You gotta keep yourself polished up by knowing what's going on.
Exactly. We did it back in the day. That's what we did back in the day. Listen, think about it. All the first dope rap records was off an R&B record that was hot already on the radio. Why was the Sugar Hill Gang Rappers Delight so big? Rappers Delight was big because Good Times was a big record.
Right.
And so, all they did is take Good Times and rhyme on Good Times. And then there's a ton of records that came in that era, even though Rappers Delight was a much bigger record than those other records. Ton of rap records that came out in that era, all were on, it was bands, because even Sylvia and them had a band. It was bands going in and replaying records that was hot, and we rapped on top of them. That it was always about at least a degree of being current. Mm-hmm. And then, yes, sometimes you use old breaks and stuff like that. But then if you're doing that, then at least your lyrics are current. You're talking about, some current things. Like, none of the Biggie records, all the Biggie records, not all, but most of the Biggie records that he used samples, they were samples from back in the day, but then his lyrics were current every day, what people are going through or what hustlers are going through or whatever. Lyrics, same thing with pop. You know what I'm saying? So it was always about being in touch. I think that's, honestly, I go out on a limb and say, I think that's what being a rapper is all about. I think if you're an out-of-touch rapper, you probably just need to hang up your mic.
Say that.
Because that's not what being a rapper is about. You know what I'm saying? Like, we always was in touch. Yeah.
Hey,
always.
They need to get out the way, man.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a process, man. Look, the way we say it around Old Dad Truth is, I'm the guinea pig, bro. I'm the prototype. So, because I don't see anybody trying to do close to what I wish it was, but nobody is. Now, but I think I'm starting to inspire. Right. I see Black Moon is back in the studio. I see Smith and Wesson is back in the studio. So I think I am starting to inspire, and that's good.
Right.
Hey, now, what kind of records they make, that's kind of up to them.
Being that we on that level of old school, can I give a shout out?
Speak into the mic.
Daddy, I just want to give you a special shout out word because I was with the whole Stetsasonic move when y'all came out. I grew up in Brookline Projects under Fuquan NY, so I really seen y'all.
Oh, that's what's up. That's what's up.
Word up. I really seen y'all from the bottom to the top with y'all movement. And much respect for that word.
Oh, thank you, sir. Thank you.
Word up.
I'm still in touch. My man Frankie J from Brookline, he calls himself Jovan now. He like one of the biggest house DJs in the world. He travel all over. But I just talked to him today about doing a remix. Cause I didn't think about till last night about doing remixes to the first single because I haven't really been doing any remixes. It's weird because I've made a lot of money doing remixes myself. But I thought about it and I said, man, let's, I think I kind of got the idea from LL because when LL heard the record, he was telling me what he would do when I do the remix, and I never even had thought about a remix. I was like, oh, a remix, oh. So I haven't been thinking about it, you know what I'm saying? Like, I haven't done it, like nobody.
Oh, you should jump, if you jump on, that's the wave right now. Everybody doing a remix, though, but you got to do it, you got the authenticness to it, so, you know what I mean? People right now, they doing remixes, and they don't even know where the song originally came from to even call it a remix.
Right.
So, I mean,
I think I got some good ideas. I got a kid, my man, he's a real good friend of mine too. He owned a studio in Atlanta. His name is Blue Rocks. He a producer. He did a bunch of Raekwon. He did the Purple Tape. He did a bunch of stuff. But he got a young brother who actually he's just, I don't know which one is doper now. He's a dope rapper. But about 5 or 6 years ago, he picked up a camera and he started being a video director, and he's bananas. So he did my first video. But I just was telling my man Blue to do the remix and put Nova on it. His name is Tommy Nova. He's a beast.
That rap stuff is too much, man. You could do so much without it. I got a whole bunch of artists in here, and you know what I mean, we all talk about being great all the time. You know what I'm saying? And that's another point I want to prove too. Like, everybody don't have to rap, bro. There's so many other ways to be great.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
trying to engineer and produce.
Yeah, I do it all, man. I can make music. I do the videos. I do the camera, whatever you want me to be. I bet you I know how to do it for that check.
Exactly.
I bet you I know how to do it.